Shock Monkey Radio is created by adults for entertainment purposes. The views and opinions expressed here do not reflect the sponsors or FXPG Public Radio. For additional information, refer to the U.S. Bill of Rights. Stand warned. So I recently watched the classic film Get Him to the Greek Again. And I will watch it many more times in the future because I think rock comedies are rare and awesome. I mean, seriously, name one rock comedy other than Get Him to the Greek and This Is Spinal Tap. After all, Get Him to the Greek is sort of a love story about rock and roll. Just like Jonah Hill's character and the affable nitwit A.A. Ron says in the film, plus I'd love to see Infant Sorrow play again, because that's why we're all in this business, right? You know, because we're fans. And if you ask me, that scene, that one particular scene in the record producer's office is probably my favorite scene in the movie, simply because of that one scene where they're like, "I'm telling you, boss, I got the next Alicia Keys." And he's like, "What? Who was your last artist you signed?" Chocolate Daddy. Chocolate Daddy. How many units did Chocolate Daddy? 15,000 units. 15,000 units. I'm proud of those units. Proud of every single one of those units. I love that interaction because and I quote that a lot because you should be proud of those units. Absolutely, you should be proud of those units. And the fact that this guy Sergio in the thing is just such an awful person, a little tyrant, you know, behind his record industry desk. You know, that guy still had the guts to stand up for what he did. You know, as insignificant as it might seem to people, he had the guts to say, "I am proud of those units." All right, and that's why I love that particular scene. And plus, the guy Puff Daddy made answer this phone in the meeting. It's like, yeah, he made me answer during the meeting to humiliate me. Throw that phone out of this room. Please don't make me do that. I mean, there's tons of great interactions in that one scene, and so that's why it's probably my favorite scene in the movie. Please don't make me do that. And speaking of Sean Puffy Combs' daddy, he actually did a really good job in that role. But then again, that character was sort of written crazy enough that you could buy a crazy-ass Puff Daddy in that role. So the story is about this record company man, Aaron, going to get rock star Aldous Snow from England and get him to the Greek Theater in L.A. And a comedy of errors ensues. Aldous Snow, you might remember from Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Anyway, Aaron gets to London and meets his rock star hero surrounded by yes men, including his own mother, who never challenge him or disagree with him. Additionally, Aaron finds Aldous quite difficult to wrangle. He keeps wanting to change flights and all that. But finally, they get on a plane and he wakes him up to, "Don't sleep so much, mate." Thank you for waking me up. It's the most passive-aggressive thing. It's a great scene. Anyway, it's lots of great scenes in this movie. Anyway, finally, Aldous asks Aaron for his opinion on his critically panned song, African Child. And Aaron answers him honestly. Aldous, being a spoiled child, reacts negatively but gains respect for Aaron for not being a bootlicking butt kisser. And that moment was sort of the beginning of their friendship, which is kind of the point of the film, being a good friend. Aldous's ex-wife, Jackie Q, you know, who's basically like a Lady Gaga type, talking about my asshole. You know, it's straight up, you know, selling sex to sell records. And it's all a very meta commentary on the music industry, and it's great. All right, but he calls her up, and she's sleeping with Lars Ulrich, and she's telling, "Oh, miss your cock, oldie," you know, and stuff like that, while she's in bed with Lars Ulrich, and you know, and there's this one sick burn that Aldous gets into Lars Ulrich, which is a "go sue Napster, you twat." So Jackie Q is obviously a horrible person, and Aldous learns that his son, Naples, is not really his son, and Jackie is a purely selfish person, having, you know, let him to go down on her, but she won't. You know, "You can rub my tits and have a wank. What am I, 12 years old?" Lots of fun British accents. And Australian. Jackie Q is played by an Australian. So she's obviously a horrible person. And Aldous learned, yeah. And so having lost his wife and his son, Aldous starts to spiral into depression in a subtle way. But Aaron starts to catch on towards the end of the film. They stop in Vegas so that Aldous can see his D-bag father, Chief O'Brien. And after getting Jeffrey, who'd be scared of a Jeffrey? Jeffrey's some nice bloke who lives down the way. He lives around the corner. Oh, Jeffrey. So after they get Jeffrey'd, and Aaron gets raped, yes, raped, and shot full of adrenaline, they get chased out of Vegas and towards L.A. The subplot with Aaron and his girlfriend leads to a three-way with Aldous, which goes very wrong because that's not how love works. But Aldous comes clean and tells Aaron that he did it for selfish reasons and that he's horribly lonely and treated poorly by most people, especially the record company. Those British guys live forever. And that's a hell of a point. You know, Mick Jagger's still alive. You know, like most of the Rolling Stones still alive. You know, most of Queen is still alive. Huh? They got contracts. It's that blue alien blood is what it is. And I guarantee you, if Freddie Mercury never contracted HIV, he'd still be alive and performing. Okay? So, I mean, that just shows how dangerous AIDS is, really. But, I mean, those British dudes live forever. Anyway, so Aaron, who shows true courage and friendship, quits his job and throws himself full force into helping his new friend, Aldous Snow, despite all the hardships, headaches, and heroin shoved up his ass. Aaron actually knows what's important in life and how being a rock star has worn down the spirit of Aldous Snow. Yes, we are fans of our rock stars. But would you be a friend to Mick Jagger, or would you just gush and fanboy over him because the Stones are better than the Beatles? That's a tough question, even for me. But at the end of the day, Mick Jagger and Aldous Snow are still people. People who need to be challenged and talked straight to. Most of all, like us all, they need friends and real love. So not only is this movie hilarious, which it is, it also has a very important message. So I love this movie, and I highly recommend it if you have not seen it. Get Him to the Greek, 12 of 13 stars, -1 star for a Ricky Schroeder cameo. Stroke the furry wall, mate.